Whether we like it or not, he's the self-proclaimed governor of Mid-Missouri, and he's the host of TTBS, the podcast. Here's Tom Bradley.
Nikki Garman, thank you very much. We are live from Truman's. More about Truman's in a moment. Ellis Bennis, our co-host on the show, is out this week. I think he's doing it's probably some church camp or something with kids. I think he was going to have 18 in a van down by the river or something. I'm not sure if that was the whole thing. But Tom Bowman is with us. So in place of Ellis Bennis, Vice President of Broadcast Operations for Learfield, Tom Bowman, how the hell are you?
I'm lovely because I'm not working today.
Have you been working a lot lately?
Yes. A lot of travel.
I thought summertime was your easy time.
For some of us, yes. But we've had some school changes. We've had some talent changes. I was at the National Sports Media Awards recognizing a lot of our talent as state broadcast winners.
Oh, congratulations.
I've
had talent changes also throughout my life.
Well,
I've had talent changes. Mostly my talent is leaving me, but other than that, Learfield, representing more than 200 of the nation's top collegiate properties, a grouping of the most prestigious colleges and universities in the country.
Did you just look that up?
I did.
You haven't said it enough times to know?
I did this morning. I wanted to have that. Our guest today is going to be from the district, the Downtown Columbia CID, Executive Director Nikki Davis. First time on the show, I do believe.
Yes.
But, and we're going to need to move fast because she's got things to do.
Yeah.
There's always something going on
She
downtown.
has important things to do. You and I are going to drink coffee and complain about things.
And we will do that.
Because that's how our lives have shifted.
When we're finished. First, back to Truman's for a second. What's your favorite holiday of the year?
Here?
No, anywhere.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. Favorite holiday.
I like the 4th of July.
Do you?
Yeah. I fire up my grill and fire up my smoker.
Thanksgiving is my absolute favorite.
Well, that's my wife's Super Bowl.
Yes, it is.
It is.
My close to being second favorite would be 4th of July. But at Truman's, it's their number one. And one day out of 365, Truman's is closed. It's not Christmas Day. It ain't Easter, even though he has risen. It's not Thanksgiving or Great Pumpkin Halloween time. It's 4th of July. Truman's is always closed. That's how damn patriotic they are, and they will be closed on Saturday for the 4th of July.
Dude, Russ has to give the forearms from taking the big oar and making all the sauces in the back. You got to take a day.
You got to take a day off.
You need a day.
A day off from that.
Correct.
So so we're gonna get into our interview today with Nikki fairly quickly, and then we will have our update, the Improve I-70 update with Emery Sapp & Sons ESS and MoDOT, and so we'll get into that. Also, keeping your eye on the crap from Family Focus Eye Care. That will be coming up as well. I do think before we get into introducing our guest this morning, we should be able to move to this. And I'll try to keep it brief, but big announcement this week. May not seem big, but I think you better pay attention. Brought to you by Creekside Pet Center, releasing the hounds, and Creekside's Bed and Biscuit, and Creekside's Dirty Harry's in Boonville. You know, this is important, and I will brag about Creekside Pet Center, but also Pierpont General Store. You and I have been there.
Many times.
You drive past it almost every day, right?
It's that is how I get to the highway. That's my way to the highway. And so when I come home on any given day and I go, oh, I should maybe pull off here because there's a whole bunch of people out there, live music, great food, new owners.
And new owners, and even with the new ownership, they still said, no, we have to have back Creekside Pet Center and their pints and petting zoos. I'm sorry, it's pups, pints, and petting zoos.
I think I've been to events where there was pints and then there was a petting zoo, but that's not.
That was a whole different thing.
Very different.
This will be coming up on September 13th. Here's your big announcement this week, and this is important. Last week we had the Columbia Police Officers Association on the show for them to reveal their endorsement. Last week on the show, they endorsed the 1% safety sales tax that Columbia will be voting on Tuesday, August the 4th. And I think it's a tough thing for them to do. It's going to be very difficult for me to make a decision, although I'm leaning against it when I walk into my polling place. They sent out a letter after that show. Sent it out to all the media, all the big yahoos. Somehow I'm on that list. They sent me the letter as well. And I want to read to you verbatim what the letter said. These are the police officers of the union that they have, the CPOA, and this is them endorsing the sales tax that the city government, the city administration, the city council is proposing. They said, which, by the way, in my words, the letter is both a thumbs up for the city's plan for a tax increase and an absolute thumbs down for the city's irresponsible management of our dollars. And that is a juxtaposition that's tough to balance in y'all's mind. This is what they wrote. This is not a vote to give high ratings to City Hall. It is not a vote to approve all of the city's spending priorities or approve of every decision made by city leaders. It is a vote on whether Columbia will continue trudging along with a woefully underfunded and understaffed public safety infrastructure, or whether we'll move forward with police and fire departments that are better able to serve the needs of our growing community. And they write on. CPOA believes voters can do both. Vote yes to pass Proposition 1 and continue to demand transparency, accountability, and responsible budgeting from the city. The only reason that's in the letter is because they believe it has not been transparent, that there's been a lack of accountability, and that they believe there's a level of irresponsible budgeting from the city. Now that's...
I wish you had more passion about this.
I'm not telling you that they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth, and I'm not telling you they're being wishy-washy about this at all, but I hear loud and clear what they're saying. And that's why it's really tough for me. And while I'm leaning against it, it's very, very tough. I'm not putting down our cops or our firefighters. They're in a very, very tough position. But I wanted to put that out there. I do think there are a lot of people that find themselves close to centrist ground that are looking at the city lately in the last couple of years going, something in here just isn't smelling right in Columbia or Denmark. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I mean, over the years, I think what we have found is that there are cities around Columbia, much smaller, less infrastructure, who tend to get things pushed forward a little bit faster on these issues. And why are we behind?
And maybe have the priorities and what might be considered the most important. And I think that's been lacking here.
I think we stay too much in committee. We got to get out of committee and go make some decisions.
It's probably a good idea,
you know
too.
What I'm saying? You know those roll cart things that everybody complained about for a long time? How you love your roll cart now?
I love my roll cart.
That's right.
I love my roll cart cleaning once a month. They come over and do for $13 a month as well. All right, I want to thank David Parmley at the Broadway Hotel. Boy, didn't they get a boost in their size. Doubled the size of that thing. As David sent me an email and said, you might want to check into this, and so I did. And so I reached out to Nikki Davis, Executive Director of the District, which is the Downtown Area Community Improvement District. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. I couldn't remember if you ever visited our show when we were at the Broadway. You were named Executive Director of the District 2019?
Yes.
And we were still there. I thought you might maybe visited with someone else at the time. Maybe you came in and had breakfast and I saw you. I don't know.
I know I saw you there, but I'm not sure if I was ever actually on the show.
Well, welcome to the Tom Bradley Show.
By the way, that's not her waving at friends. There is one particular fly in this building today that will not leave us alone. So if you see her waving around crazy like that.
I also forgot there was cameras, so.
Well, you know, if you want to give any other gestures today, just keep that in
I'll
mind.
keep them real low under
if
the
I start
table.
really pissing you off during this conversation, you just go, I'm going to flip Tom Bradley off. Just remember, everybody's going to see that as well. No, thank you for being here. And we got about 20, maybe 25 minutes to chat about this. I'm interested. This feels like a change for the district. You guys are going to do something that I don't remember you guys coming close to before. Maybe you can correct me on that. You're drafting a letter and you're asking members of the district to sign this letter to the city council. What is it, in a nutshell, you're asking the city council to do?
Yeah, so there was, so we went on a leadership trip to Columbia, South Carolina. Through the chamber, it came back with a lot of good information. One of the pieces of information that they have is they have an urban camping ordinance, of which, you know, we went through and liked their verbiage, liked a lot of what they're talking about, thought the city kind of liked it as well. And then it just kind of dissipated a little bit with the city, and it's still wildly important for us. So what this means is we're looking for better guidance on how to deal with people sleeping downtown on our sidewalks, in our stoops, you know, sometimes very much blocking the sidewalks, which is an ADA issue. So we're looking for better guidance on that. One of the big things that brought this up is the Downtown Safety Ambassador program that we have started. They need to be able to understand what they can and can't tell people what they're doing on the sidewalk. Is that okay? Is it not okay? Currently sitting on the sidewalk is fine, as long as you're not blocking it completely, then that's an issue. But we need to be able to have those ordinances easily understandable, not just for our block by block, for our police officers, but also for those sleeping or sitting on the sidewalk. Maybe they don't even know, hey, this is an issue. You're going to have to move on from here. And I know that we have things coming like the Opportunity Campus. So if you need to sleep on the sidewalk, we have this wonderful, huge new campus. Maybe it's let's help you get over there.
So the timing of you guys coming out with that could coincide with that nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yet to be seen if that's something that will be very helpful to those moving people out of downtown. But it's not necessarily to add extra criminalization. A lot of these ordinances that we're kind of asking for a little bit more defined are already on the books, but they're buried, they're unclear. So we just really need to have this much more available so we understand, the public understands, the people sitting or sleeping on the sidewalks understand this is acceptable or not.
I wonder, you say there could be things like that on the books already buried down there, and I'm sure in 1914 something came out. It was like, from now on you can't have your horse parked over here crapping on the walkway.
But you could bring 3 chickens downtown and they could hang out together and watch your stuff.
If you were using them to barter for a new chair,
correct,
or
then
something along those lines.
Yeah.
But the problem I think also is for our police department and for your ambassadors that you mentioned, which I want to talk about also. But the police department, I need to know what the city and the administrators and my chief are actually telling me, and what I'm going to then tell the public. And so they need to be able to walk up to someone and say, sir, ma'am, this is not a campground. You can't sleep here. And someone's going to come along and go, it's a public place. I can do whatever I want to. And I don't know I don't know what their parents ever told them, but that was the deal. It's not the deal. I've heard from people that are business owners downtown about folks sleeping in their doorways when they're trying to open up the shop. Do you think, I'm not putting words in your mouth, do you think that the district as a community, that you guys don't want to go out and talk about this because it starts sounding like we're making negative waves about the beautiful area of downtown?
I mean, that's always a part, right? This is something that people don't really want to talk about too much. However, it is wildly normal. It's in every single downtown. We need to be talking about it, and we need to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
It's become a lot more normal here in the last few years than it was 10 years ago. I mean, people are crapping in doorways. People are pissing on the side of buildings, and that's nasty to talk about, but it really is happening. And me, for one, I need the folks downtown, and that includes the district representing and collecting tax money. I need you guys to go out there and ask the city council, because me bitching about it isn't doing a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is something that we do work on all the time. We work with the city doing things like this. We've had an outreach program for almost 9 years. But at a certain point, we need to make it more clear that this is something that every single one of us have to deal with all the time. We know our city council people come downtown, they see it, but it's different when you own a small business.
Yeah.
And it does affect your small business. And also with the amount of resources that Columbia has, we need to start looking at other ordinances that other cities use to help push people to the resources that we have, as opposed to on our...
When you went to Columbia, South Carolina, you said they had this in place and the wording, and you looked at that and what have you. What about the results from it? Did it seem like it helped them? Did you talk to any owners that said it did?
Yes, it did. It did definitely seem like it helped them. They had a very hard time passing it, obviously, but they did get it passed, and it is something that is... it's something that people know. Like, this is something that you can't do. Here it is. You can see it very clearly. And then it helps them also say, so if you can't do this here, can I please get you into a place where you can do this, and then hopefully into a program?
But was that set up? So let's say we use it here with safety officers. So here's the ordinance. We have it on paper. We have these people that will tell you here it is. But in South Carolina, do they have posted signs at plates so people can't say, well, I didn't know that? I mean, what's the extent that you have to go so that people realize, hey, this is the ordinance? Because I don't know how many people who are unhoused are looking at our ordinances.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to sleep. Well, I better check. Let me go to my app. The ordinances.
Right,
Oh, no,
right.
I can't here. I got to go to another town.
Wouldn't that be nice? So mostly of what it is a very educational process before it actually kicks in.
Okay.
And then what I've seen in other cities as well is they do kind of a you get 3 citations, or you get talked to 3 times, and then it's like either jail.
So in other words, here's the first one. This is us telling you about the ordinance, but just now we've told you, don't do that again. The second time, I just told you. It's like with your children. And then the third time, you're like, all right, well, now give me the video game.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
You know, the timing is interesting on this, and as we follow up the median ordinance that just went into effect yesterday, which we gave those who've been camping out sort of and soliciting and sleeping and drugging up and everything else they've been doing on medians and in the intersections in our city, we gave them like 3.5 months to prepare for the ordinance coming in. By September 1st here, and we're now July 2nd, by September 1st, we've got football weekends underway. And that's a big time. There are many businesses downtown that between that and any kind of holiday shopping, they make or break their entire year right there. How are we going to be able to get something done now in time for that season?
You know, we know the city moves slowly.
What?
So, I'm not entirely for sure that it will have something by that time. I think we'd be wildly lucky if we did have something by that time. However, we will have VAC. We will have our downtown safety ambassadors, one of which is a full-time outreach person, which is that person like trying to help people into better situations. So we have things going for us, but I'm not sure if the urban camping ordinance will take effect by football season.
Well, it'd be really interesting if there was something buried in our rules and regulations, the city ordinances right now, the police chief could use with a less direct exact, but just say, come on guys, we're going to move this on because it's pretty much the rule, you can't be here. And then maybe in 3-4 months we can actually put it out there that from now on there'll be signs posted and what have you. I can see arguments coming up. What if I'm downtown and I decide in the middle of the day somebody I'm with is shopping. I'm going to sit in my car and take a nap. Am I urban camping now, right? I mean, somebody's going to say that.
That's a step up.
But if I'm paying for that damn parking meter, to hell with you. I paid for this camp spot.
I mean, yeah, right? Wouldn't there be a transaction that happened that I purchased this space for this period of time and I can do whatever I want to do?
I'm taking a 2-hour nap, and I'm going to do that. Now, I mean, so I can hear the argument in a lot of directions on this.
And we've had conversations around that as well, specifically cars that have stayed for a very long time, but they're paying for the parking spot, right? So yes, there are things like that. You know, the thing with this, like I said, many of these smaller ordinances are already in our books somewhere, just buried. So the fact that they're there, we just need to make it more apparent to the police officers. It's here. Please utilize this. You know, a lot of this is about enforcement, but then the enforcement part comes to, do we have enough police to be doing these types of things? Hey, sorry, you can't be sitting on the sidewalk, as opposed to somebody being domestically assaulted somewhere else in town. So that's one of the other big issues is we might have this stuff, but we also want to work with the CPD and make sure that they can fulfill these enforcements.
But the ultimate goal would be the education of law enforcement to say it's not just shooing somebody to another part of town, another block where you can't see them. It's we have these opportunities for you, and so you have to kind of work with those law enforcement officers it's more of a helping thing than more of a citation
100%
shoo you away thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a chance that this would affect anybody hanging out at one of the city parks also?
So there already are park camping ordinances. So when we asked the city, hey, we want to look at this urban camping, they sent us all these park ones. That's not helpful for us. That's not what we're looking for. So there already are things on the books for camping in the public parks and stuff like that. But
for the sake of asking, has anyone enforced any of that?
Well, we have Flat Branch Park downtown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. And we're in the middle of building one on Orr Street now, right? Which I think is going to be beautiful down there. And I love a little bit of green space in the middle of downtown. And they don't make more property. So when you come across a piece like that and you can use it, that's wonderful. But I'm really worried that that's going to wind up full of people at night, just, going and sleeping down there. And I know if you're in San Francisco listening to this, you're like, you guys have no idea how bad things can be. And it's like, you guys brought that on yourselves in San Francisco. 15 years ago, we were screaming at you, do not allow this to happen. And you guys kept going down this path. Now, if we look back at San Francisco, they had people that were sleeping on sidewalks. So people started putting boulders on sidewalks to not allow room for that. And then they were told they have to move those because it's inhumane for the people that want to sleep on the sidewalk. And I'm like, look, I see both sides of this thing, but they didn't come up with an answer. I think if we have a district that's working as hard as you guys are, how long have you guys had a team that you pay to go down there and clean downtown?
The cleaning crew has been almost 10 years.
Wow.
Yes. And this is Block by Block, which does these programs all over the nation.
That's the name of the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we hire them, and then they do all the hiring and training and everything like that. So this is the other arm with the safety ambassadors that we're bringing in with the same company. They do Mardi Gras. They know how to clean. They know how to de-escalate. So yes, one of the big things with the parks, though, as you know, parks are very important for downtowns, cooling effect, concrete, all that good stuff. But I think one of the possible failures with Flat Branch Park is that it wasn't utilized. We need to make sure that we're utilizing these parks. We're doing events. We're bringing people there so that it is utilized and not just a blank space for people to sometimes disappear in.
I wonder what we could do with, like, how do we do it? There's another park that's sort of an inner area park. It's on the other side from downtown, other side of Columbia College. I don't know the name of that one. It also can wind up with 5 adults sitting on a picnic table. There's probably some drugs being used, and I know that from watching them. And there's no families there, and you're not going to take your family there. So how do we utilize those parks? I don't know, Nikki.
I think it's important for us, I mean the district especially, with having them in our district, is to make them full of people. Bring events, do different things, make sure that other people know that these parks are here to utilize, to have events. With Flat Branch Park and the extension that's happening right now, I'm really hoping that that's going to kind of revitalize that area. But that's going to be hugely important for this new one that's going on Orr Street.
So do you guys start formulating what can we do, lunchtime events during the week to get people who are downtown to come to the park? Because like a squatter would be at your home, if you go away for 6 months and it's left alone and they look enough and go, oh, no one's coming around here, I'll just go in here.
You're exactly right.
That's what's happening at these parks. So I guess it would be incumbent on you guys to create at least a Monday through Friday, or maybe just something during the week and something on weekends that they go, oh, there's always people here, so I can't do this.
That is what we want to do. We are a staff of 3,
of
so
course.
it's a little hard.
Correct.
But letting people know, hey, this is what should happen here. With Rose Music Hall being across the street from that one, that's going to be wonderful. We already can picture so many events happening at that park, so that's going to be very important for us to make sure things are turning and happening over there.
Can I ask about your relationship, and you can share this not if I'm going too deep, your relationship with the university from your level as executive director of the CID for the district? Like, they have Peace Park. Is Peace Park Peace Park isn't far from Flat Branch Park. Are they having the same kind of issue? And my guess is not quite the same, because they're operating their own piece of ground and taking care of it and keeping people moving on. When Moon Choi wanted to walk downtown last year, and did last October, I know the city council wasn't communicating with him very well. Do you ever talk with Moon Choi or other leaders at the university?
We do. Actually, we have Michael Graves on our board, and he is, I should probably know his exact title, but he's newer on our board. That's the first time we've ever had someone from NMU on our board, and that's amazing. So you have to have property in the district, own a business, or own a property. Own a property, or live downtown. Those are the 3 requirements for you to be on our board. MU has property downtown, so this is the first time we've ever had, and we're very thankful to have him, because he has made communication hasn't ever been hard with MU and us, but it makes it a lot easier when you have him on the board to be able to talk about.
In the middle
Peace
of a
Park,
meeting, he could just open up and go, well, actually, yada yada, and share some insight with you guys, right?
It's been fantastic.
Well, don't you feel too that with Moon Choi getting involved, he never really gotten involved to where he was now, that the university stance was, this is our police department's job to do it, and now since they're not doing it, I'm going to be vocal. And that has led to, well, if we can't get into law enforcement doing that, let's go to the district group.
I think a little bit. The ambassador program, and people are not completely aware of how that works. It's a three-way split on the spending on that, the cost of that, between the district, the city of Columbia, which means all of the general fund is paying for, whether it's us as individuals or people who visit, and it's part of our sales tax going to a general fund. That's helping to pay for it, and the university. And the cost is around $500,000 a year.
Yes.
And is it 7 individuals total that are on board
Yes.
as ambassadors? Okay. And that's hired out through Block by Block. And so for all of that administration taking place, and from what I saw of Block by Block taking care of the downtown area for the last 10 years, and remember, I was down there for 5 years with a window on Broadway. They were so professional and hardworking, and they were picking up stuff that people were like, oh, no. And they're like, excuse me, ma'am, I'll take care of that. And so good job with that. The downtown ambassadors, any other time, I would have saluted the idea. The problem I had is we weren't taking care of more cops downtown. I wanted the hard, serious, I want a squad car, I want a trained academy graduate officer, and I want them loaded down with all the tools they need on their tool belt. I understand the softer side being the ambassadors also being needed. I wish it would have come in the other direction. Be that as it may, I'm glad you made the step.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I think we'd have both. I think we want both. We're still pushing for more cops downtown. We're still pushing for our downtown unit where we recognize faces, have their phone numbers type of thing. But with the way, the money's set up and to make it sustainable, we have to do a three-way split to be able to get these extra eyes on the streets. De-escalation, they are very well trained. They go to St. Louis for training. They trained here, and they're trained through Block by Block. I think it's a wonderful step in the right direction. That doesn't mean we're done by any means. We are still very much looking forward to those downtown officers, and we, won't let that go until we see those again one day.
Well, a few more questions, and we'll let you go as we're in a abbreviated time right now. And one is, you've got a letter that you're asking members of the district to sign. How is that going so far? Because I'm sure some are resisting because they think that it's them telling other human beings that they don't care about them. Be that as it may, what do you think? Are you getting 75% support, or what is it?
I'm going to say it has been surprisingly good. We have, it's hard to tell, I'd say, of our normal interaction with businesses. Some businesses are just like, whatever you guys do, you do it. We'd probably have at least a good 50% to 60% of businesses signing this. And none have done the how dare you.
Well, I was actually wondering if I might feel like asking that question. Have you had anyone get a hold of you and go, I can't believe you guys are asking for this?
No. And I'm quite surprised because business owners will let you know. We've had a couple say, hey, we're not going to sign it because of these reasons. And none of them were, we feel like you're criminalizing homelessness or anything like that. It's more of this is a community-wide thing. We feel like the whole community of Columbia needs to be taking this on. We have reached out to MU and the other colleges, and we know at least MU will probably be sending a letter as well. So it's been received very well. Our businesses have been, they're on the front lines of all of this. They're the ones that have to clean up the bathrooms after somebody, goes into them, or has to find somebody in the bathroom that is still in there doing whatever. Or, giving them water, which is wonderful. But, our businesses they're tired,
And they've got a job to do. I had a buddy who's a little bit younger than me I ran into this past week in downtown Columbia. I was at Flat Branch Bank. Give them a little salute. I was at the Heist. I love that place. And he mentioned to me, we were talking about downtown and success or troubles and issues that go on down there for businesses. And he said, how often do you come downtown? And I said, well, I think I'm 62. I said, for my age group, I'm sure I'm an exception to the rule. I love downtown. And I'm downtown very often. If not in business, I like to go down there to catch a bite or a drink or watch a ball game or whatever it might be. And I'll take my Suburban and I'll parallel park that anywhere. I don't care. And I got the Park Mobile app. I don't get tickets downtown. I am an exception to the rule. I certainly see how someone under 40, they love downtown and they start making a family as they start drifting more to the suburban area. Be that as it may, I love downtown, and I wanted to tell you that while you're here. And I'm glad you guys are making a step, and I believe that it's a sign, like it's happened in other segments of Columbia, we're getting we're done with some of this stuff. And I see that happening. One more quick question before I let you go, Nikki, and that is the 1% safety sales tax. We're voting on that in early August. Will the district be making a stance on that, or what do you guys have to say about it?
So actually, our next full board meeting, July 14th, I believe, CPD is coming to present to us, and we're probably going to see an ask there. Very typically, the CID does not take stances on things like this, but because it so directly affects us, affects our safety ambassadors, our downtown police officers, I could expect us to make a stance on this.
Okay.
We are also, this is really more for our businesses. We're not really trying to have the full public there, but we're doing a meet and greet for our safety ambassadors and our police officer downtown. And then they're also doing a public presentation to our businesses regarding the safety sales tax on the 8th of July, I believe. So we've set that up to make sure our businesses are also informed.
Also on dates, the letter to the city council, you guys will be sending that off with the signatures attached on July 10th.
Yes.
So I want to make sure I threw that out there as well. You know, it's been fun talking to you, and you speak really from the heart. You're not tossing a bunch of word salad out here and giving me the talking points. You're really discussing things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate being here. Thank you guys so much.
That's great because you don't know the last time he had a salad, so we're fine.
Well, the doctor says I need to have more.
Yeah.
I definitely don't need any more word salad. You know what I'm saying there? Nikki Davis, Executive Director of the District, Downtown Columbia CID. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And be in touch and send us that information that's coming out about the safety tax.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, there you have it. That was a great conversation.
It's great, and this is a weird one because normally we wrap the show with the guest, and then we get to talk to the guest and see them flitter away. Poor Nikki has to sneak away because she has somewhere to be, so we'll just pretend like we did that.
Yeah,
and
then that's fine.
It's just like, when you go someplace and you think, oh, I don't know any, but I'm just going to back, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, usually it's late at night, and then it's the Irish goodbye is what I do.
Oh, I do it too.
You know, you've done that more in your later years now, and I think you've taken the lead from me.
I will tell you flat out, you were my inspiration to really do it because I've been to your house many times, been in the backyard pool, and everybody goes, and I've had people who've come over to your pool for like maybe the first time and weren't there later at night. And it's like 8:30-ish on a Friday, and they go, hey, you seen Bradley? And I point up to the corner. I go, you see that room right there? See the light that's on? 3, 2, 1, boop.
It's very much like a Disney movie and the princess in the tower. Yeah. And I'm the princess who goes to sleep. It is time for our I-70 Improve I-70 update with Emery Sepp & Sons, ESS, your locally grown and employee-owned company, along with MoDOT and specifically Central District of MoDOT, and the work going on to improve I-70 and add lanes in both directions. And I've mentioned this before. It's amazing things that are taking place with this over the next 3.5 years, which includes things like Perchie Creek, where you have I-70 right now, 4 lanes going across and 0 outer road lanes going across on bridges. We will wind up with 10 lanes going across that creek, and what a great thing that's going to be. And by the way, it is a creek. If you ever hear about the Perchie Creek Yacht Club, it doesn't really exist.
No, but I would like that hat.
God, we used to talk
Where's
about
that hat
so
at? Can
much.
you buy that hat?
There was a day. There was a time.
Can we start it again?
Some of the original founding members of the Perchie Creek Yacht Club may still be alive.
Do
worth.
we know some of them?
I do.
All right, there you go.
I may have to. I'll look into it and try to get you that thing. Okay, listen. Here's not only an update on something on I-70, which I think you want to be aware of, but it's also an example of trying to stay aware because of how things go. Yesterday morning, at about 9:02. Central Missouri Central Missouri District of MoDOT put out that there would be an eastbound lane of I-70 in the middle of Columbia shutting down for almost 24 hours. We had very little notice on that. It was an emergency repair on pavement. By the time my son Shambalaya went by it later in the morning, he goes, I'm backed up on I-70, and I said, yeah. Now, our social media page for the Tom Bradley Show, we included the update on there at about 10 a.m., right when they were shutting it down yesterday. And he said, yeah, I'm getting slowed down. I said, yep, It's coming down to one lane ahead of you. You're going to get up to that Providence Road bridge area where there is no bridge anymore.
Correct.
And they're going to drop it down to one lane. And they did. And that was up until it was closed until early this morning. Also, the ramp from eastbound I-70 Providence Road was also closed for work this week as well.
And that was the emergency part was probably a pretty dangerous pothole of some sort, is what I heard.
I'm guessing it must have been.
I mean, by almost bigger than a pothole, probably.
Well, and I think what Sean said as he was going by, he was like, yeah, we got about a 20-foot long section of that lane is completely ripped out. All the concrete is gone, and they're pouring a new slab right there.
I wonder if there was a situation that would turn into a sinkhole later. They saw something, cracks or whatever, and then they realized, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We don't have that base.
And I mean, and these updates we have are just they just keep coming. So that's the point that I want to make, is that we have these changes constantly, and if you're not aware and if you're not slowing your ass down, you're going to have problems. We have had shifts in some of the area that Emery Sapp & Sons is taking care of, and other areas that are closer to 6370, which is another one of the partner companies with MoDOT taking care of. Some of those lane shifts have blown your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going 65 as opposed to whatever it's asking for there, 50 or 55, it's going to be very dangerous for you.
Well, when you're going eastbound on 70, you get that, I follow F1, and I get excited because I feel like I'm on an F1 track, because you get that, once you get past the 63 interchange and you're headed east, all of a sudden, and if you're coming westbound in that same area, you come up over, I was coming home the other night, I told you, it was 11:15 at night, and you forget sometimes. And as you come down, you're like, oh, yeah, oh, crap. now I've got an S-turn.
So you said F1, you're talking about racing.
Yeah, Formula One.
Formula One.
Yeah.
And that's the only sport you follow?
No. I mean, I follow sports for a living. But
I mean, the only one that you sit back and you...
Yes, because if you work at Baskin-Robbins, you don't go home and eat ice cream.
What do you go home and eat? I don't
Not
wanna
ice
ask.
cream. So on the weekends, I've turned in the last decade, I watch a lot of F1. I work in college sports. I usually don't watch the NFL till closer to the postseason. Major League Baseball, because I was in it for so long, I don't watch it till the postseason. On Sundays, I watch This Old House.
Do you ever watch flat track motorcycle racing?
I have. I love it.
Because I got a buddy, Johnny, who that's all he ever follows. It's a little bit like you.
That's very niche.
It is. And he's like, would you like to go down to Texas with me sometime and see that? And I'm like, see the flat track? This is where they take the sport bikes and they lay them down until their elbow is scraping the ground.
Yeah.
And that's how they go around the turns.
And some of my closest friends, they are MotoGP guys, the motorcycles.
Yes.
But on tracks, right? Not dirt bike guys, but, And so they always make the trek to Austin for the big MotoGP race and all that. Yeah. And then we all get excited because of the Isle of Man, the Isle of TT. Have you seen this?
I'm sorry, the Isle of what?
The Isle of Man.
I want to go there.
It's called it's this race called the Isle of Man TT. So basically, you go to this island, and there's these little villages, and it's one of the biggest motorcycle races in the world, but it's also one of the most dangerous motorcycle races in the world, because you're at the super high speeds through these old villages and then out towards the open expanse, 120, 130 miles an hour.
Is it dangerous for the motorcycle rider or for the children and chickens? The chickens in the villages.
Both. Look it up. Look it up tonight. Anybody listening right now, look up the Isle of Man TT race.
Is it TITI?
No, TT.
Okay.
The letter T.
I didn't know it was the island of TT.
That would be the TT. But here's the crazy part of that, right? I don't know how you get on a sport bike with balls that big. It would seem very uncomfortable.
It must be a special made seat. You were ahead of me as I was telling you. You're like, I got you.
Seriously,
it's got a pouch.
Before you leave today, I'm going to pull up a quickie little video and show you. People hang over these little rock walls as motorcycles come through at 100, and they're gone.
God. Yeah. Unbelievable. Before we leave Emery Sapp & Sons, I want to mention, too, that Biz 417 is a magazine out of Springfield that takes care of Springfield and Joplin and Branson and Lebanon and that whole area. It's all business focused. And they came in and they said in their latest cover that ESS is one of the best places to work. They got the Best Place to Work award. They've gotten it twice now, naming ESS one of the best places to work based on anonymous employee feedback. When employees can say whatever they think, and they know that no one is going to track it.
That's even with Doug there. Like, it didn't skew because of our buddy Doug, the sexy bass player.
employee owners who are building the project, shaping the culture, and making recognitions like this possible every day. Thank you, Emery, Sapp, and Sons. Now, I did promise, I wanted to get into something else. I know we're coming up on Keep Your Eye on the Crap, and I wanted to talk about that. How's your summer going? Because we're kind of flying through on some stuff over here, but because we didn't have a chance to really like jaw on a bunch of stuff at the beginning.
No, and you and I, it's so funny because this is how people's lives change. Like we used to hang out pretty often, maybe a night a week, or we go have dinner, we go hang out, we go on a motorcycle ride, whatever. And in the last couple of years, you've added to your grandchildren count, right? And they get older and they do events. I'm in the same boat.
Right.
And it's like every weekend there's a family thing more than anything else. Like we've had to decline to come to your guys' house because of that. And so it's a little weird. I made the deadly mistake for the first time in 20 years at Learfield. I didn't have a major play-by-play hire because those happen over the summer. And I said out loud to some of my team, hey, this will be the quietest summer in my 20 years at Learfield.
Oh, no, jinx.
So now I'm sitting in California at my mom's house the Thursday after Memorial Day weekend, and I get a phone call from one of our talent who's being offered another gig, really good gig, and I'm never going to hold anybody back. And I hung up the phone and forgot my mom was in the room and said some words that got me in trouble.
Oh.
Yep. You've met my mom. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
And so then that happened. And then so that was Georgia Southern. And so I'm at the tail end of that. And then about a week ago, my voice from Washington got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers job.
Wow.
So I'm now 7 weeks out of having to get somebody
Was your
in place.
voice in Washington like Mike Kelly here at Mizzou? Was he doing both?
Yes, yeah.
Sports?
He was
the big sports being.
He was what we would call the voice of the program. So
Okay.
he's the football voice, basketball voice, and all of that.
Yeah.
So he is going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can't.
It's a hell of a move.
And I can't say it yet publicly. I will tell you when we're done. But I'm about to make history at Washington.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Legacy move.
Well, I can't wait to find this out.
I know. I just can't. I
And
just
I'll-
closed it. I was standing outside of a local Mexican restaurant last night while my wife was inside having a margarita or two, and I was on the phone for 20 minutes pacing on the sidewalk trying to finalize this particular situation.
You mentioned these life changes. I want to tell you that one of the toughest life changes for I think you hear about this all the time with moms who go through this empty nest syndrome kind of thing. It's really interesting, exciting, fun, and sad for a dad who's highly involved in their kids, maybe coaching some softball games, basketball stuff, and involved with teaching your kids to drive and other things. When they start leaving the house, and you're like, I got some time on my hands, but what the hell am I supposed to do? I was the needed guy here, and you start to learn to get along with that thing, and about the time you're getting along with it, next thing you know, you've got grandkids coming in.
That's right.
You got to come back inside now, boy. You got things to take care of, which is why, and this is one of the toughest things I've had to do recently, and I reached out to you before I let anybody else know. I'm moving away from motorcycling.
I know.
For the time
it was a
being.
very sad text.
Yeah.
Actually,
I know,
it freaked
I
me
know.
out because however you worded it, I had to go back and look at it, but the way you worded it, I didn't quite, it's a sad day or something, and I just thought, oh, crap, what could it be?
Like it was something much, much worse. But I think it's weird for people to hear that, and people start going, well, why are you making this big change? It's like, take it easy, dude. The bike has been sitting so many days and nights and weekends and months. It just needs to be ridden, and I'm not riding.
I think I told you in this text, I'll tell you right here, in the last year, I've ridden more than you have, but not enough. And sometimes I'm ready to go ride, and because of this summer, I've had all the intention of riding on a particular day, and the weather, listen, we treat motorcycles like golf. If I'm out doing it and it rains, that's great. I don't choose to do it in the rain.
Right.
So my bike's up on a little rolling lift, so I have room in my garage, and I've passed it a number of times this summer, and I have had that. Before you texted me, I've had that thought.
Is it
Do I
getting to be
need
time?
this?
I've been wondering for 2 years, and I'll tell you, man, I wanted to make sure this bike moves on before I start using it as a clothes hanger, like some old treadmill downstairs in your exercise room that nobody's using. So change does happen, but I welcome it. We're at 4 grandkids now, and I love the time I spend with
Hey,
my
I got
family.
a really nice tour pack and a really nice oversized seat. If you ever just want to go for a ride,
You gonna put me on the back?
Could you?
I ain't your bitch.
Could you imagine?
I ain't your bitch.
You'd have to turn around. We'd have to go back to back. But could you imagine the two of us rolling around town? The amount of people that we know.
To back, he says.
That's right.
With that, let us move forward.
Are you ready? You gotta keep your eyes on the crap.
You can't handle the crap.
Looky here, there's a big difference between shit and shinola.
As my great-grandfather always said, Matumba, keep your eye on the crap.
Keeping your eye on the crap, and you better have eyes to keep on the crap, and that means you need to go to Family Focus Eye Care. And Dr. Rich, if you're tuned in today, I will be reaching out to you as soon as this is over. I had a weird floater.
Did you say I will be reaching out to you?
I had a weird floater pop up out of nowhere in my left eye. Now, this is the eye that they noticed a retina detaching 7 months ago.
Yep.
And I want some direction from him. I'll go in and see him immediately.
Yeah.
Or if he says I need to go back to the Retina Associates here in Missouri, then I'll go there. I have an appointment with them scheduled in like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But do I need to go back? I've never had that happen before.
I'm finding that. So one of my guys that works for me had both of his retinas detached
How?
a few years ago.
How do we do this?
I don't know.
I don't know
And now I'm hearing more people like retina detach. And Samantha was worried about that at one point too. And I'm like, I didn't hear about that a lot. What's going on?
I don't know.
All of a sudden, people's retinas their eyeballs are jumping out of their freaking skulls.
It's like some cartoon thing. Wow.
That's exactly, but it doesn't come back.
Well, Family Focus Eye Care at famfocuseye.com. And keeping your eye on the crap. Here's what it is. Yesterday, our median ordinance went into effect. And for the first time, as far as I know ever, we suddenly had protesters. You guys suck. What a shitty ass way to handle this. You guys decide to, on the day that it becomes illegal to go out and loiter and hang out in the middle of an intersection, then you're going to go out there with signs and buckets asking for money in support of this thing? You guys suck. You shitty ass is all I can throw out there.
Well, there was a lead up. We just talked about this earlier. This didn't get voted on behind closed doors quietly overnight and then put out the next day. This has been talked about and everything, so go out and do it then.
And I'll tell you something else, man. I'm gonna really harp on this thing. If I tell you something like the city manager needs to go, I'm not going to move away from that thing.
Right.
And I've been saying that now for about 18, probably almost 24 months. I told you 4.5 years ago, we need to outlaw loitering on medians in the city. This is insane. This is going on. I said that back then, and people started arguing that it's a First Amendment right. And it's like, no, it's not a constitutional right.
It's a safety hazard.
You're
number
full
one.
Of shit. And these people going out yesterday. So keeping your eye on the crap. That's the crap to keep your eye on. These manipulators out there. Someone wanted to know how much they were being paid by an outside firm to come into Columbia and do this. I don't think they are.
I don't either.
I think there's some stupid, I don't know, some distant view of this glorious world that we live in where people can be allowed to do anything they want because they're needy people. We need to allow them. No. I don't know what makes you think such a thing. I don't give a damn what's going on in their life. Yep. You cannot allow them to do this. How is it that a grown-ass adult would believe we should allow someone to do something and put everyone else's lives in danger?
Yeah.
And believe me, it would. Because if you saw a human being on a median suddenly roll over in front of your car at 35 miles an hour, you'd swerve. And guess who you just hit? Tom Bowman on his motorcycle, and he's dead.
Right.
You're putting everyone in danger. The baby in the car seat in the car next to you, their life is in danger at this time because a drugged out idiot is in the middle. Tom, you don't know what took him to this point in his life. You're right, I don't. And right now, that's not important. What is important is he cannot be in the middle of intersections with traffic running on both sides of him. He can't.
Letting somebody do whatever they want. Someone can't just come in here and go, hey, man, I'm hungry. Open the door, walk into Russ's kitchen, make their own meal. Hey, man, I need help. Like,
oh, they need help.
This is how I got here. So I'm just going to walk in wherever I want. No, that's not how you go about this. There are programs. Now, I understand as a veteran that there are plenty of unhoused, however you want to say it, people who, for whatever reason, from a mental capacity, from whatever they've gone through, that maybe don't have the easiest time getting to these programs. But there are plenty of people who have access to those programs who choose not to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now you're going to put people in the meeting. And what about people? You have a dog.
Of course.
And you fall asleep, and this poor dog goes out into the
We got shopping carts in the middle of medians. And here's the thing. I don't even want to get into the fact of any mental illness. I don't
Right.
want to talk about drugs. I don't want to talk about serving the country and coming home and being treated bad. At no point does that mean you can allow them
Correct.
to take a gun and start shooting it around in the middle of a town. It's not allowed. You can't fire a firearm in this city at all.
And you're not going to use the excuse of, well, Tom.
Well, yeah, but here's what
They
happened.
don't know.
The speed limit here is 20 miles per hour because it's a school zone. You can't speed through here. Yeah, but I'm late to get to the hospital for my dying daughter. I'm going to go 60 miles an hour. I don't give a damn what you're doing. You're not allowed to. Why have we wound up with adults out here? And they're on the medians doing it yesterday. We had 4 of them, I believe, that were cited for that. And it's like, you guys are just horses' asses is what you are. And I think it was a shitty-ass way of handling it. And I can't think of a better way to describe it and or a better note to finish on today. So there you have it as we fade out into the darkness and say it's been a glorious morning. Thank you, Nikki Davis, for coming by. And looking forward to it. We got a couple more weeks before I take a week's vacation in the middle of this summer. Tom Bowman, thank you for coming in this morning.
Always a pleasure. Call me when you need me. Put out the signal.
Appreciate it so much. Maybe again in August. There might be another date coming up.
I'll be around.
My friends, live this day as if it were your last. I say to you, okay.